taking the information from the past, using the tools and technology of the present, and unlocking that information and making it easier for students and users to use in the future. And we chose Venice very specifically because Venice is the melting pot, one of the original melting pots in the Mediterranean where East and West meet in the Renaissance. And what we have here is a prototype of what Through Venetian Eyes will look like in the end. So let's say that you are an aspiring young student and you want to learn about the locations of Venice. So you click on locations, that takes you to a early 17th century map, 1602 I believe, of Venice. And if you notice, 5 boxes appear. These represent 5 different locations in Venice. You have the Arsenal, San Giorgio, Piazza San Marco, Rialto Market and Bridge, and the Venetian Ghetto. Considering the Venetian Ghetto is having its 500th anniversary next year, let's learn about that one.
On the left there, you see some of our sample learning modules. Under location, 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 you can learn about the very first ghetto. Why they're all called ghettos today. It's Italian for foundry. And in fact, in this ghetto, there are 5 synagogues that have been continuously running for 500 years. Under crowded spaces, you can learn about overpopulation and population density of Venice. And you can compare that with cities of yesterday and today. Under Where Can I Buy, you can learn about money lending and pawn shops and the role that they had in Renaissance Jewish culture. Let's go to Interacting in the Ghetto.
Now, this is a very important image. This is actually a gate of the Venetian Ghetto. It would have been closed at night to prevent Jews from mixing with non-Jews. Now, we want our users to feel like they're stepping into a ghetto, so they actually enter through the gate. And you notice we have 3 modules up there for the purpose of this presentation. The full-blown release will have 4 to 7, and these are all ways in which students will interact with the primary sources that we gathered before and showed in those learning modules. You have economics, in which students will actually become Jewish moneylenders. They will deal with different currency conversion rates between florins and ducats, etc., etc. You have ritual, in which students can find and look at actual prayer books. They can recite them, upload their recitations, and hear professional recitations. And keep in mind, Jews were a very mobile people, so in the Venetian Ghetto, they're not just speaking Italian, they're speaking a bunch of other languages. So you know what, let's learn about food and diet, because that's the most interesting. Let's go ahead and click on that one.
Under Food and Diet, you see this painting, which is an actual Venetian kitchen of the period, and it's available in the Walters Art Gallery in nearby Baltimore. Why Goose would be about, if you can't eat pork, it's an available meat substitute. Tavern Life would talk about the interactions between Jews and Christians of the period, even though it was forbidden. Food prices, you could compare the cost of goods and groceries in Renaissance Venice with cities around the world yesterday and today. Let's go to holiday foods. Now here you see the most important Hebrew manuscript in the Library of Congress collection, on the right from 1478. On the left, a printed version, also in the Library of Congress, it's from 1609. And these both deal with Seder ritual. Let's go to Sukkot. Here, among other things, you would see recipes. This particular recipe is for cookies of the period. Users could upload their own recipes or versions of them just in case they didn't have a Venetian palette. And this would highlight the interaction for the site and potential for growth.
We don't want our users to just look at primary sources. That's boring. We do that at school already. We want them to smell history, to taste history. And in fact, you lucky 5 are going to do that right now, because we have brought from you straight from Renaissance Venice, Genetti de Sukkot, traditional Jewish Italian cookies. Next slide. This is the list of our partners. As you can see, it's quite a long list, because we didn't want to limit ourselves. Why limit ourselves? All of these institutions have fantastic primary sources, so we want to draw on as many as possible. And if you notice, our institutions are international. We have the premier institute of Venetian scholarship on board. And if you look on your handouts, you'll find an excerpt of an email. They are excited to work with us. They've never had students come before and say, hey, let's take these primary sources, let's digitize them and make that information available for everybody. And just with the Library of Congress alone, we have 3 different contacts in 3 different departments. We have, in the music division, we have one. We have one in Judaica, one in the European division. And in fact, we're meeting new people every time we contact. I've been to the National Archives several times. I've talked on the phone, and they just told me they got a new guy who's in-house who is an expert in preservation of art through war. So why not cover that as well? Our boundaries are expanding, and with your help, we can help the world bring Venice to life. We can help the world see history through Venetian eyes. Thank you.